What's going on, y'all? It's Jay Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys yet another installment of the Book'em series. For those of you that haven't seen, it is the series where I take a battle rapper and I discuss the 5 best matchups that are still out there for them. And this particular episode, talking about someone whose schedule is always a topic of conversation, and that is Tay-Rock, right? First of all, Tay-Rock in these last 2 years has turned into more of a volume battler, right? Double-digit battles on both years, each year being more than the last, and the most he's battled this much in his career. But what we also know is Tay-Rock has one of the most accomplished and filled resumes in the history of battle rap. He's battled pretty much everyone that is someone in this culture for the most part, outside of a few straggling names that might get mentioned here. But he's been giving a lot of shots. There's been critique about his strength of schedule, him battling this much. Is it worth him giving all these shots? I definitely think it is. Not mad at this new era of Tay-Rock that we're in. But 2 things we're going to talk about here is big matchups that are still left out there for him. His resume is very full, but it's not complete. It's not 100% done. It's not Pokemon. He hasn't caught them all, right? So he's still got a couple big matchups out there prior to contrary belief. And as well as giving shots, there's levels to that. And maybe some shots that he could give that are just maybe a little bit more productive or could do a little bit more style-wise, quality of battle, right? So I'm going to give my opinions on that. But Tay-Rock is battling this weekend as well as many other people, so I want you guys to tap into that. First of all, we got the Westworld tournament thrown by Westworld, right? What do they got? Next versus Saint is one of the first round, probably the best first round matchup there, but other names in the tournament like Active, Hansel, real name Brandon, all competing for a 10K prize. I believe it's 8 people in that tournament. And then, as I said, Rock is battling Bandit Montana on UW's Rebirth card, as well as Arsenal battling Capo, B Magic versus Shotgun Shug. Pretty solid card over there on UW. And even the day before, Let's Be Real Battle League, Capo and Officials Battle League, throwing their own card. It's got Ease versus Coach Corleone on there. Ill Will's battling on that card. Coffee versus Rock Lee. Coffee Brown versus Rock Lee in the main event spot. So, listen, our transactions are getting back up there. Listen, we even had some battles this past weekend, man. I watched a guy choke for 4 minutes, right? And then also, Bonnie and Miss Miami had an almost good battle, because it was good until it wasn't. Saw that they had an altercation. Where's Stamp at? Probably somewhere fighting. That's the answer to that question. But all jokes aside, man, there's been a little bit of battle rap finally trickling back up. I think throughout March and April, more announcements, more cards. We're going to get back to regularly scheduled programming. But without further ado, let's get into the 5 next best matchups for Tay-Rock. Now, I'm going to start off at number 5, and at number 5, I do have Tay-Rock versus Easy the Block Captain. Now, for many people, this should be way higher up. For a few people watching this might should be number 1. But one big thing my lists are always based on here is an element of realism, right? Whenever we're building up to what number 1 will be, and number 1 is like, this is the matchup I want really bad. In most situations, I say it's the matchup that I want next, but it's the number 1 matchup that still has some traction or could happen. Obviously, there's traction the way Easy and Rocket talk shit, and listen, if it's booked, it is one of the biggest battles in battle rap to get booked. But as talked about when I've done a video on the Rock versus Easy topic, I just have absolutely no idea where these gentlemen are going to battle, right? Easy, I don't believe he's coming to URL, you know what I'm saying? Rock is not going to the trenches, and it's way too big of a battle, respectfully, probably to go to the trenches. And then I don't know what the situation is with Chrome. I thought Chrome was going to have an anniversary card in February. All right, it is February 27th, so that's not going to be going down by any means. At least not in the very certain future, and I guess then you start talking like, could the Riot go and book it, right? Or outside, is there another type of league? Them putting their own money up, right? If it's not trenches, maybe trenches versus no entourage. But we've seen the way that they went back and forth, not really on the best of terms. I know that Easy tried to reach out and said, let's get this money. I know he tweeted something like that, but basically, when it comes to a matchup this big and the money is probably going to be involved, I just don't see who's going to go get it at the moment. Who knows, maybe a smaller league that we know of but just could never fathom we get the battle end up getting it, right? But listen, Rock versus Easy, incredible in terms of style, but I'm not going to sit here and sell a matchup that's probably not getting booked in the foreseeable future, which is why I have it at 5. At number 4, we're talking about giving shots, right? And this is someone who's not a new guy, but someone that I think it would make sense if Rock battled them right now, even without crazy promo behind it, and that is Rock versus Real Sick. Real Sick talked about what does he want on URL this year. He wants Rock, Nitty, Chess. It's very clear. These are three names that across most interviews and most times he's talked about the schedule that he wants. When he brings up URL, these are the three common names over and over. You get Rock, you get Nitty, you get Chess. And I'm not mad at it. And that's because of the way Rock's schedule has been, right? He is battling Bankhead. He has battled Gunpowder Pat. You know what I'm saying? He even battled Jay Soldier going to last year. And that's just naming a few of the shots that he's given. Now, not every plate is like that by any means. But if he can take those battles and even come over to URL and battle guys like Stumbles, Jackboy Maine, who is a level above Stumbles, let's be respectful here, but all kind of that mid-tier or lower, why not battle Real Sick, a guy who's in high demand right now? People are loving Real Sick. After his initial run with top tiers, where some people debated a lot of them were good losses or wasn't getting wins, he's kind of revamped in a sense after that K-Shine loss. And you look at last year, even with a short sample size of 4 battles, right? And not all of them being top tier ops, his material is just that good. And when he does face top tiers like Diz, like A Ward, he's made a show of it for the most part. So Rock brings up a completely different challenge. I think overall, while Sick had a pretty good paper schedule last year, listen, Chess, Nitty, Rock, this is a step back up into those matchups where before there was a little bit, it was a little bit harder for him. But has he improved to the point that he can make the most out of it, possibly even get a win? Depends on the room size. I think you can book this, though. I think 6 brand is at the point that it carries in a big room. If you book it in a volume, people aren't mad at that, although I think some people would rather pivot to Nitty and Sick if you're talking a smaller room event. But listen, if Rock's going to battle 10, 12 times or even more this year, we still need a couple of big matchups in there to hold it down. And I think Real Sick on almost any event you could pick on URL could be a good time and matchup for Tay-Rock. And that leads into number 3, another guy who I'd say been around longer than Sick, but I think is hovering at that right outside of top tier or just in top tier title, and that is Jerry West. And I don't have much to say on this one because it's a battle that I've talked about and was talked about a lot in kind of like real time after Jerry beat DNA. He had the face-off with Rock. Smack talked about he wants to book it, and what has happened? I have not seen Jerry West rap since then. I don't know why. It's not always in the league, right? It could be the battler at the moment not taking as many battles because Jerry's just not battling across the board. It's hard for me to believe you show out on SM and then your phone just simply never gets called again. But wanted on Homecoming, even though the noises went down for it, still want it this year. He deserves that look. And like I said, is Jerry a star where he makes it a big mega matchup? No, but he just came off an SM win. He's been doing pretty good for a while now. And at the end of the day, his name still holds more weight and is more known than some of the names that I've seen Tay-Rock take. Now, I'm not saying don't take younger battlers or battlers with lower profiles than this, but if you could do those battles, I think a Jerry West battle is useful. It helps boost his career. He can give you the best fight out of a lot of these mid-tier level guys or high mid-tier level guys that you can still battle. And I didn't throw Mike P on this list, but it's kind of in that vein of names where Real Sick, Jerry West, Mike P, these are the guys that can use that shot and make the most of it in a Tay-Rock battle. And that's why I want to see Tay-Rock battle these guys in 2024. So getting into the top 2 matchups here, and at number 2, I do have Tay-Rock versus A Ward, a battle that Tay-Rock has personally asked for, tweeted about. There's just been noise for it, and it makes sense when it comes to off URL talents that have never touched URL. A Ward is still the top of the pickings when it comes to that, right? And even without having those URL battles, obviously the man has still battled Geechee Gotti twice, Ill Will, Shotgun Suge. He's battled Lou Castro, you know what I'm saying, to a lesser extent, but has also battled the likes of Aver, Big K, Real Sick, Rum Nitty. He's clearly filling up his resume without needing URL. Now, that when it comes to Rock battle, a lot of people would think, especially what Rock means to URL, being clearly that like face all time, leading in all statistics type of guy for the league, you would think that you'd save that until A Ward gets over. Now, I would love to see A Ward on URL and see this battle go down on URL, but even if not, I just want to see it in general. I think it's ready in time for it. It is one of the best opponents that I think Rock could realistically lock in on a top tier level with, because I don't think it's even a question if A Ward is a top tier battle rapper. And, Rock gave us some pushback this year, right, with the Cody list. Not necessarily that he didn't win, but not being higher up is a common complaint, and one that he even gave himself. And if you look at A Ward, man, listen, 2021, Geechee Gotti battles A Ward, right? Even though a lot of people got A Ward winning that battle, good battle, Geechee ends up winning Cody, right? Rum Nitty ends up battling A Ward and beating him in the battle of the year in 2022. One of the main reasons why he got my Cody vote, and he won Cody that year. And now going back to last year, Big K beats the snot out of A-Ward to start the year, right? And it's probably one of the biggest reasons he is Cody. So Tay-Rock, listen, A-Ward is almost is good to great every battle. But if you are an elite version of yourself, it looks like beating A-Ward is a really good way to get yourself up there early in terms of those Cody ranks. But it's jokes aside, but not really jokes aside, because it does involve a strength of schedule aspect. It is one of the better fights out there with a guy that is willing to battle in any league. I really think that Rock and A-Ward could lock in on most big leagues for the most part, even if it is off URL and all the conversation that comes up with A-Ward battling on URL. I could see this going down on something like a Riot or just really any league with the way that A-Ward battles. So would love to see Rock and A-Ward this year. I think it's a good matchup that's extremely beneficial for both, and obviously both of them never slack. They're both on their A game, so that I want to see in 2024. And that leaves us with the number one matchup for Rock. And I always say with my number ones, always say, this is the battle I want to see Rock take next. Do I think Rock is going to take this battle next? Absolutely not. He's got a million battles coming up, so clearly it's not going to be the very next battle. But man, it's been sold to me. I want Rock versus Big K by far the most out of any other Tay-Rock matchup right now. The easy one for realism, I put down because I don't see it getting booked. I think in terms of hype, it would be up here. It's why a lot of people are having it won. But after what Big K was saying about Rock during his Champion of the Year press conference, I need to see this disrespect happen in a rapping format in person, right? You got Big K talking all types of shit about Tay-Rock recently. Rock's throwing shots at K at that even. Why the fuck do I need a Big K battle? Which is something a lot of people can understand and argue. Even with Big K winning Cody, Rock clearly has that legend status on him where you could play the A-side, B-side game and say, I don't need no damn Big K. He's not doing views like that. But just in terms of pure quality, clearly Big K is rapping some of the best shit in the world right now. And Big K is someone who has a legendary resume of his own. Maybe not as filled as a Tay-Rock's, but he's still battled Conceited, Averb, Ill Wills, Murder Mooks, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on and on. Geechee Gottis and Rum Diddies. So he does still have some big matchups left like that of an easy-to-block captain himself, right? He's never battled Shine, even though, we don't know when the fuck K-Shine is going to battle. And another big one is he has not battled Tay-Rock. I just think it makes sense. It is, once again, one of the absolute best people who's still not on Tay-Rock's resume. For a guy that's battled all the legends for the most part, outside of, he doesn't have a one-on-one battle with Lux, but he's got a 2-on-2 versus Lux. And what you get is a guy that's even battled a lot of the off-URL legends for the most part, like a Disaster, has battled a Real Deal. Hasn't quite battled an Ilmac yet, but Big K is of that ilk of some of the absolute best non-URL-based battle rappers of all time. They've talked shit. It makes sense with K coming off of his Cody year to go and get a Tay-Rock plate. That is a big battle. And unlike Rock is with maybe some other big-time names, it's just not that hard for Rock to come outside. The man he's battling everyone, right? So in a year where they talk about what big battles does he have left, what could he still do? Big K is a big fucking battle. A-Ward is a pretty big battle. Real Sick and Jerry West aren't as big as those battles, but they're still super solid and super respected. So for me, Big K versus Rock is the juggernaut match I'd love to see Tay-Rock take, but any of these on these lists are still big, skillful matchups that can elevate Tay-Rock in the year 2024. And that is kind of my full thoughts here on the 5 matchups that I'd love to see for Tay-Rock going into this year and even in the future past that, right? Love to hear what you guys think of, and say it once again, I got easy to block captain. You can really put that anywhere in the list. We know that where the drama and the necessarily the skill is meeting with that. We really want it for this, but this is making it hard for it to happen. And then, like I said, you got matchups like A-Ward, Jerry West, Real Sick. I said his name earlier, but would not be mad at Mike P and Rock. If I had made this list maybe a few weeks going back, I would have put Rock versus Bill on it, but that exists now. So, obviously he's already taking some matchups. I'm a big fan of that Rock versus Bill Collector battle. Just those last few top tiers you haven't faced, why not? He's even called out the likes of Reed and Sirius Jones. I don't know how much I'd like to see that for a competitive aspect. Maybe Reed a little bit more than Sirius, but there's matchups out there. There's names out there that he can still battle. And like I said, with Big K at number 1, something I didn't mention before is that little hint of that URL versus RBE in there, right? We're never going to get that full face-off card like that, but if we were to get that battle, that's the little moments like that where you can play into that, and it adds the stakes of the battle just that much higher. But that's all my reasonings for the top 5 here, man. At the end of the day, Tay-Rock is probably going to take tons of battles besides this versus all types of other leagues talent, putting on for leagues, giving them some of the most viewed battles to date. So absolutely never against the work that he's doing. After doing anything you could ask for on a blockbuster level, he's going and giving back to the culture for smaller leagues and leagues that are just fans that are really grateful to see him, right? That usually you wouldn't see him unless he popped out in a big league. But now he's in that Danny Myers type of portion of his career, and just giving a great example for the culture and trying to push things forward. But we still want some of those big matchups, which is why this list is here. But it's been Jay Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what matchups you'd love to see for Tay Rock going into next year. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.